Golden Sound Story, Disney, Mickey's Treehouse Adventure. Mickey's Treehouse Adventure.
Mickey Mouse is planning a big day. He just arrived at the home of Donald Duck, where he's going to help build a treehouse for Donald's nephews, Huey, Dewey and Louie. If you'd like to join in the fun, press a sound picture every time you come to a picture. "Hi Donald," called Mickey. "I'm ready to help." Pluto barked. He was ready too. Under a tall oak tree stood Donald Duck, architect. He and Mickey studied his plans, then looked up at the tree. Suddenly they heard a strange laugh. And without warning, they were pelted by a shower of acorns. Donald said. He looked over his shoulder, thinking his nephews were playing a trick, but they were busy flying their model airplane. Muttering to himself, Donald went back to work. According to his plans, a big branch would have to come down. He dashed to the house for his tools. Behind him, he heard the mysterious laugh. Donald Duck, Lumberjack, came out of the house ready for action. Mickey held the ladder and Donald scrambled up into the tree. Reaching the big branch, Donald began to soar. When he did, he was hit by more acorns. He spun round as he heard the laugh. But he couldn't tell where it was coming from. Donald backed out onto the branch and peered up among the leaves. There was no one in sight. Donald said. Shaking his head, he continued soaring. But now he was on the wrong half of the branch. As he cut through the branch, it fell with a mighty crash. Unfortunately, so did Donald. Two pairs of mischievous eyes peeked out from the tree and watched Donald spluttering on the ground below. Down came another shower of acorns. Then the laugh. Mickey looked up. He was getting suspicious. Across the yard, the boys were having a wonderful time flying their airplane. As they watched it streak through the air above them, a gust of wind caught the airplane. Pluto barked as it landed among the tree branches and stuck there. Donald Duck, carpenter, sat high in the tree working on his masterpiece. He was so busy soaring and hammering that he didn't hear the model airplane. At the last minute, he looked up and saw the airplane. It was flying straight towards him. Ducking out of the way, Donald said. As he watched it fly by, he heard the mysterious laugh. The aeroplane dove at him again, and this time it seemed to be carrying acorns. There was another laugh as the acorns bounced off Donald's head. Down on the ground, Mickey watched in amazement. Suddenly, he too was dive-bombed by the airplane. As it soared back upwards, he saw Tiny paw at the controls and another one pitching acorns. "Donald," yelled Mickey, "I think I know what's going on." But Donald wasn't listening. He pounded a few more nails with his hammer, then threw it at the airplane. When he missed, Donald said, jumping up and down in frustration, he lost his balance and grabbed the treehouse for support. Both Donald and his treehouse fell to the ground with a crash. Wow, said Mickey. Since you're down here anyway, there's something you should know. It's all about all the trouble you're having. But Mickey's voice was drowned out by the sound of the hammer and saw. Donald's new plan was to build the treehouse on the ground and carry it up. Donald didn't know it, but his hammering and sawing were disturbing something else, a bee. Buzzing angrily, it made a beeline to where Donald was working and flew about his head. Donald yowled and tried to get away, but everywhere he turned, the bee was there to torment him. Mickey tried to help his friend, but before he could, something streaked by in front of him. It was Pluto, giving a playful bark. Pluto chased the bee all around the yard. As Mickey looked on, Donald went back to his hammering and sawing. But Pluto returned a minute later, still barking. This time the bee was chasing him. Donald said, as Pluto ploughed into the treehouse. Donald's masterpiece fell apart with a crash. Donald, called Mickey, I'm trying to tell you something. But Donald wouldn't listen because now he was really mad. This time he decided he would build the treehouse so quickly there wouldn't be time for anything to go wrong. Furiously, he hammered and sawed slapping the boards together at a breakneck pace. As he worked, he was surrounded by a flurry of activity. There was the airplane diving past his head and dropping acorns. Pluto barked and kept chasing the bee. Or the bee chasing Pluto. Who could tell? Donald finished the treehouse in record time, but it was hardly the masterpiece he had planned. The boards were crooked from Donald's speedy sawing. The nails were bent from his hurried hammering. In fact, the crazy-looking structure was barely hanging together. From high in the branches came the mysterious laugh. And Donald was bombarded once again by acorns. The treehouse was so shaky that it couldn't stand up to the shower of acorns. And it caved in with a loud crash. Donald said, Mickey touched his friend's shoulder. Donald, he said quietly, are you ready to listen? Donald was ready. It's Chip and Dale, said Mickey. They're causing all the trouble. As if to prove a point, the two chipmunks flew by in the airplane, tossing acorns and laughing. They're afraid you'll wreck their home, Mickey continued. You see, they live in this tree, and they're not the only ones. Right on cue, the bee zipped by, followed by Pluto, who was barking. Donald said. Mickey replied, Don't worry, Donald, I have a plan. Mickey's plan had a job for everyone. Huey, Dewey and Louie gathered flowers for the bee. After one final spin, Chip and Dale returned the boys' aeroplane. Mickey made a tiny treehouse for Chip and Dale. Pluto took a nap. And Donald built his masterpiece. Slowly he soared. And carefully he hammered. This time with everyone's help. The treehouse went up straight and strong. Mickey, Donald and the boys gazed proudly at what they had built. From high in the tree, Chip and Dale laughed and pelted the group with acorns. Donald said, Some things never change. The end.